The unsettling feeling on my mind gradually dissipated. It was better to grieve after we had confirmed the result. Indeed, you have a point. Chronoa, I want to save Chloe and Hinata from infinite prison. Is there a way to do that? Now that I've calmed down, I think I can feel the aura of the other me Chloe. But it's gonna be difficult trying to deactivate infinite prison. I'm not sure myself, but my body might disintegrate if I do that. This was because she had locked up her enormous energy reserves in the infinite prison. I almost forgot to mention this, but it was actually Chronoa here who controlled the young Chloe's power. If the amount of energy unleashed was strong enough to rival Vildora's, Chloe's body would be obliterated. Moreover, we still couldn't confirm whether Hinata's soul was inside or not. I wanted to trust Shizu-san's words. Since we needed to cleverly control the energy inside infinite prison and save Chloe and Hinata, how about having Wisdom King Raphael interfere with infinite prison? Or perhaps, it could simply examine what was inside instead of unlocking the prison. Negative. Based on current circumstances, it is impossible. Insufficient access to interfere with the smallest physical unit, information particles. Raphael said it could unlock infinite prison. However, it did not have the authority to interfere with the information locked inside there. So that was a dead end. Vildora managed to revive himself, but it seemed that he was a special case. I get it. Then I'll transfer the authority to you. The other Chloe agreed too. We will have Rimuru do as you wish. As I worried about what to do, Chronoa suddenly made an unexpected proposal. An information particle was a substance smaller than even spiritrons, and was close to having no mass at all. All matter in the world had to contain information particles. Even though they only existed in my stomach and Chronoa's infinite prison, these information particles could be observed. Raphael seemed to have the ability to manipulate information particles to either combine or abolish skills. Now, with the access granted by the owner of the infinite prison, Raphael obtained the freedom to exercise his authority over it. Report. Access granted. Interference will begin. How should I put this? Raphael sounded very happy. It must have been just like that one time when it was playing around with my skills. The series of events that took place next happened extremely fast. Before I could do anything, Raphael took charge by itself. Complete. Unique skills Infinite Prison, Absolute Severance and Usurper have been combined along with a large sacrifice of Magicule to evolve into an ultimate skill. Without asking me. Yes or no, as usual, Raphael acted promptly. Actually, it probably didn't have to ask for my permission. Since it wasn't my skill, this felt a little off. Ignoring my concerns, Chloe Chronoa their power evolved to ultimate skill Spacetime King Yog-Sothoth. Moreover, even the discarnate entity Chronoa, which was originally the other personality of Chloe, went through the upgrade to become an information particle entity called Monas, which gave her the authority to manage skills and ability to switch with Chloe at any time. Is it really okay to make such drastic modifications? I wanted to follow up with a no, it's not okay at all, but everyone seemed okay with it. Rimuru is always so reckless, but I love Rimuru for it. Not only did Chronoa hug me, she kissed my right cheek. Moreover. Chronoa. How can you cut in line before me like that? I felt a soft touch from the other side too. Just like Chronoa, Chloe came to hug and kiss me. Chloe was also in her adult form. Chronoa and Chloe had the exact same appearance, like twins. They were incredibly beautiful. The mind's imagination is the best. Even though the fact that this wasn't reality was a bit saddening, it was still very nice to be sandwiched between two beauties. On that note, couldn't I shift out of my slime form and return to the appearance of that nice guy from my previous life? I began to get immersed in my lewd fantasies. Shizu-san watched me from the side. Someone else was there too. Looks like you're having fun, Rimuru. You're enjoying yourself so much that you didn't even check if I revived or not. It was Hinata. She was right, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I gave a couple dry coughs with my face flustered. As expected from Hinata-san, you are just as pretty as before. Should I compliment her like that to start a conversation? I would say that, but I had seen her earlier. But I suppose it was always good to praise a woman. As expected. Spare me the flattery. Ah, yes ma'am. She saw through me immediately. But I still had something to say first. That said, well, it's strange to say that I'm glad you're okay. I am truly happy to reunite with Hinata under these circumstances. That was genuine. Thank you, Hinata said. Her cheeks were a bit red. She had to be blushing. Could that be a dear moment? Negative. It is not. I figured as much. There was no way. Hinata then proceeded to ignore me, and joyfully reunited with Shizu-san. It looked like she had become a bit more open as Hinata's eyes were filled with tears. I am sorry, sensei. I never meant to cause you any trouble. I understand, Hinata. I never noticed at the time. I should be the one apologizing. And thank you. You were the hero that saved me from Leon's castle, right? Yes, sensei. Seeing them hugging each other, I had the urge to cry with them. Hinata, you're a really strong girl. You mathematician born from that iron will of yours was likely the reason you're still here, now Shizu-san whispered sincerely. I see, perhaps she had a point. Hinata was just like before, nothing had changed. But my other power disappeared. That means you don't need it anymore. You will be able to face yourself properly and grow on your own. But can I really be revived? There wouldn't be a problem. And you believed in it too, right? Sort of. It was then that Shizu and Hinata turned their eyes to me. How long do you guys plan to hug him? With Hinata's interjection, I realized that Chloe and Chronoa were still clinging onto me. But I want to hug Rimuru a bit more. That's right, Hinata. I haven't seen him in 2,000 years, let me hug him a bit more too. Saying something like that could be easily misunderstood, you know. I wasn't doing anything, but Chloe and Chronoa had buried themselves in my slime body, that's all. With a smile, Shizu-san intervened. She faced Chloe and Chronoa. Alright, we will talk about that later. It's time for me to go. I hope you will be revived soon, Hinata. Where are you going? Shouldn't you know, Rimuru? I am just an illusion you created. Right, this was just an imaginary space, so. All dreams come to an end one day. I am happy to have met you girls too. The children seem to be doing good as well. And thanks Rimuru for punching Leon. I have forgiven him. It seems like everything was just a misunderstanding. Knowing this makes me feel a little better about this world. That's why I no longer have any regrets and feel satisfied. Chloe and Hinata were trying to convince her to stay, but seeing the satisfied smile on Shizu-san, they swallowed their words. They then vigorously nodded their heads. Rimuru, I'll leave Hinata to your care, Shizu-san said. Rimuru-san will definitely be able to do it, said Chloe reassuringly. I'm quite looking forward to your performance, came Hinata. All three of them were giving me quite a lot of unexpected pressure to revive Hinata successfully. It actually made me sweat a lot. What if I fail? No, I couldn't think like that. I couldn't show weakness like that. It wasn't my style to give up before even trying. Hinata was probably more anxious than me, so I needed to stay calm. Just count on me, Hinata. I'll get you out in no time, I declared. Words had power. I must succeed with this resolve. I left the mindscape. Back in the real world, I was still in my human form. My posture hadn't changed at all, and it looked like I hadn't moved one bit. I stretched and cheered myself up. Inside the scenery of the mind, the last thing I saw was the smile of the fading Shizu-san. I had to hold on a bit longer to not fail that smile. Oh, Rimuru, you seem alright. What happened? I saw Chronoa stop and fall. I'll explain to you guys later. Can you please keep your guard up, so I won't get disrupted? Just leave it to me. Leon agreed without hesitation. On the other hand, Baldor seemed to be hesitating, right, but remember to explain it in detail later. Now I could rest assured. I doubted it, but if Yuki were to come back, the two would be able to handle him. Let's see where Hinata's body is. I found it completely uninjured after being healed by Lumina's magic. She was lying next to the fallen Chronoa. There was a hole open near Hinata's chest area. I pulled out my baka coat and put it on her. This was the kind of charm you could expect from a mature adult who knew when to show tenderness. I don't want to get glared at again either, but I'd hide that thought inside my heart. The key was resurrection magic, but it would be difficult for me to perform it alone. Even though her consciousness had re-emerged through mathematician, which was also Hinata herself, it was still inside Chloe's Spacetime King Yog-Sothoth. Whilst merging with the skill saved her from vanishing, separating them would be difficult. I had to prepare the energy to replace her and switch out the two, while simultaneously applying resurrection magic, in order to rescue her. In order to do that, I'd need that gal's help. I called out, please help me revive Hinata, Luminas. Kaguwa, good, win, Luminas, Sama. Granbell fell to the ground, coughing blood. Struck with a mortal blow by Luminas, his life force was slowly draining out of him. Yet Granbell looked at peace. You idiot. Luminas had indeed received the true message Granbell wanted her to know. If I can't even overcome such a difficulty, protecting humanity is absolutely impossible. If that's the case, it's better for the world to be destroyed by the hands of the hero, who is meant to be humanity's guardian. Luminas rightly understood that he was betting on this last hope. Accepting his resolve, Luminas gave him her response and defeated him in the duel. It was at this point that she painfully understood Granbell's thoughts. He didn't want to make Chronoa go berserk, but to awaken her correctly and turn her into humanity's hope. He is still so clumsy even after 1,000 years. Luminas felt so in heart, but at the same time, a sense of loneliness. My pathetic wish was nothing against her power over time. If you, Demon Lord Rimuru, and her joined forces. In this cruel world, what was justice without strength? Even someone as strong as Granbell could only lament his own failures. Suddenly, Luminas heard Rimuru's voice. Rimuru wanted to revive Hinata. In other words, Chronoa, Chloe had awakened successfully. That guy sure is reliable. Mission accomplished perfectly. Luminas had much praise for Rimuru despite not saying it out loud. You've done what you can. Leave the rest to me. Be at ease. With these final words to Granbell, Luminas planned to go to Rimuru. Lumina's strike was more than enough to kill him, but Granbell had already exhausted his life force before that. His life had come to an end. There was no way he could continue to live, even with Lumina's help. He could potentially survive if Luminas turned him into a monster, but she knew Granbell would not have wanted that. But before that, Luminas-sama, I have one more request. What is it? Hope. I want to pass my hope to that girl. Luminas paused at this. She wasn't sure whether or not to fulfill Granbell's wish, considering that it could be another trick of his. With that being said, Luminas still accepted his request. Sometimes, Luminas' heart was just soft. Fine. Mom, much obliged. Holding on to the hand Luminas reached out, Granbell was nothing but grateful. At the same time, his body began to dissipate and disappeared in a bowl of light. Pass on peacefully to the other world. The ex-hero had fought for a very long time. But finally, seemingly guided by Lumina's voice, Granbell was freed from his fate and vanished from the world.